Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Millennial Minutes. I'm so happy you guys are all here today, and I'm going to be talking about why I've said no to certain paid partnerships. Now, what I've learned throughout the last couple of years is saying no is actually just as important as saying yes. And it's really, really, really difficult to say no to certain things, especially when they involve money. Now, I want to talk about paid partnerships. And for those of you who don't know who they are, essentially a paid partnership is when a company reaches out and they ask you to run a partnership with them, which means that you create some form of content for them in exchange for money. So, a lot of the time at the moment, there's a lot of push on reels. So, a lot of companies will pay you an X amount to make a certain reel and you'll be promoting their products and talking about them. Now, there's different levels of paid partnerships. Sometimes companies will pay you a certain amount to post on your page and then a certain amount to post on their page. And then if they want to use it in their ads and newsletters and on their websites, that's another fee as well. So I'm going to talk to you about paid partnerships and the ones that I've rejected. And some of them are to do with my Instagram and some of them are to do with my podcast. Now, I'm going to give you two examples of where I've said no to paid partnerships. And the first one was when I was asked to create an Instagram reel for a company where they asked me to promote a product that improved your hair, skin, nails, increased your energy, and improved your joints too. Now, this was actually a really great product. Let's just take something like vitamin C. It's something that is great. It's something that helps a lot of us. I wanted to talk about the benefits of the ingredients because I hadn't had time to test the product itself and they were on a tight schedule. So they said, you need to post this within the next week, but we need to get a review from you. Now, I wasn't able to review a product that was going to improve my hair, skin, and nails and increase my energy in the space of 2 weeks because that is not a long enough time period for me to say whether it has improved it or not. So I said no. At this point, the brand said, okay, well, can you test it for the next couple of weeks? And I still said no, because for me to actually tell my audience, this has improved my hair, this has improved my skin, this has improved my nails, I feel so much energetic from it. I need to be testing that product for at least a month, maybe even 3 to 6 months, especially with your hair and nails, but they don't grow that quickly. For me, I'm able to test my energy levels quite quickly after a month, but things like your hair, skin, and nails, you can't really see an improvement, especially if you're adding new things to your routine as well. And because of that, I said no. And I guess it was really difficult in that moment because I thought I could do this reel and talk about the benefits of, let's just say it was vitamin C, and talk about all the great things that it can do to help you. But am I actually talking about this specific product? No. I had to say no to that brand deal. And even though I left my corporate job and it was a good amount of money, for me, it compromised on my values and my ethics. And I didn't want to go against that. It's very easy in the content creator industry, or if you're in the freelance industry, for you to say yes to paid work because it is how you get paid. How else are you going to get paid? And I think for a lot of creators, it's so tempting to say yes to brand deals, even if they don't align with your values, because it is a form of income for you. In every situation, whether it's your work or your relationships or your friendships, your values will be tested and you'll need to make a decision of whether something is ethically right to you. And I think so many people miss that, but it's so easy to find out what is right for you because you just have to listen to your gut. You know in your heart when a brand reaches out to you, if you love them and you want to work with them, or you're like, they're okay. No amount of money should come in between something that you just don't believe in. It's really funny because I was speaking to a girl the other day and she's a content creator herself. And she said that one day, this massive company who sells leather products reached out to her and said, we would love to do a partnership with you. Now, she in that moment was like, this is a huge company. They sell incredible clothes, but I don't believe in buying leather goods. And so it just goes against my morals and my values. And she was like, it was so difficult in that moment to say no to that brand deal, but I just knew that it wasn't in my heart. So I said no. 6 weeks later, a vegan company reaches out to her and says, we've got all these vegan leather products and we would love to have a partnership with you. And it was bigger and more money than the original offer. And in that moment, she was like, it was the universe telling me I'm going to give you something even bigger and better because you stuck to your values. Now, I truly believe in that. If you're doing something that is aligned to you and something that you really love, good things will happen because you're sticking to who you are and you're sticking to your values. And your audience will see that and that will make you more authentic and actually help you grow even more. It's okay to say no to things that aren't right for you. And I think it's really important to remember and understand, what are your values? What is your purpose? What are you trying to get from this partnership? How is it going to help both of you? And that really leads on to the next brand deal that I said no to. So bear in mind, my followers increased from 18,000 followers to 60,000 followers on Instagram within a couple of weeks. And in that time, a lot of brands are reaching out to me to say they want a partnership with my podcast. Now, this brand in particular had been following me for a long time, but during this time, they reached out and said, we want to partner with you. So I went along to the meeting. I was actually really excited. And I remember as I was speaking about the podcast and I was giving examples about different situations and different podcasts and referring back to our conversations, I could see their face was a little bit confused. So I asked them, did you listen to this one? Did you listen to this one? And they said no to everything. Then I asked a question, which I wasn't afraid to ask, and I think we shouldn't be afraid to ask is, have you actually listened to my podcast? Like, have you taken the time to listen to it? And they said, well, we haven't actually listened to it, but we just love what your brand is about and we love what everything is about. And in that moment, I was like, well, how do you know what my brand is about? How do you know what I'm about if you haven't listened to my podcast? And that's the thing you want to sponsor. This wasn't an Instagram reel. This was a podcast partnership. So surely if you want a podcast partnership, you would have listened to the podcast to partner with me. In that moment, I realized that this brand only wanted to work with me because my followers had increased and because I was getting attraction. They didn't want to work with me. And I felt in that moment, if I turned up to a partnership meeting and I'd said to a company, say I want to work with you, Adidas, but I don't know any of the products you sell. I don't know any of the sizes. I don't know any of the clothes you sell. I have no idea what you're selling, but just because Adidas is a good brand, I want to work with you. They would be like, what on earth? You don't know anything about our product. You don't know anything about our brand. You don't know anything about our mission. So why do you want to work with us? And a lot of the time it is just because of the name. And so in that moment, as hard as it was to say no again to the money, especially when I don't have a podcast partnership at the moment, I still said no because it didn't align with who I was and it didn't align with who I wanted to represent. If a brand hasn't taken the time out to research and go through my podcast and actually see, okay, we love this podcast. We've listened to 5 episodes out of the almost 60 I've released, that would have been sufficient. But to not listen to one, I was like, it's not going to work. So just to recap and just to summarize, I just want to say it is okay to say no. And I know a lot of us struggle with that because we just want to say yes to every opportunity that comes our way. But I truly, truly believe that if you stick to your values and you work with integrity, then the brands that you want to work will come to you. And the ones that want to work with you will see that you're someone that they can trust. Your audience will also see in turn that you're someone that they can trust and that they believe in. So that when you do work with a brand, like I've worked with my Soul Star, which are the heatless curlers, I use them literally every single day. I've worked with Guvu, which was a lip cream that I use, which I absolutely love. So my followers know that the products that I put out are ones that I truly love and they trust me. So when they buy them, they're happy. The worst thing in the world is if you're promoting a product, it's crap. Your followers buy it, they see it's crap. And then they come to you and say, why did you tell me to buy this product? If you're a creator or an influencer, you have to remember you do have a responsibility to influence in the right way and to influence good products, ones that you believe in. Sure, not everyone may like the products that I work with, but I really believe in them and I love them because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to like every single product, but it has to be of good quality and it has to be something that you truly love for you to give out to your audience. And finally, if you do more of what you love and you're always striving to provide value, I promise you everything will work out in the end. I think so many of us are focused on virality and so few of us are focused on providing value. And if you provide value, if you are consistent, if you're providing content that is relatable and actually touches the heart, I believe virality will come naturally. I really, really, really hope you love this video. I hope it's been helpful, especially if you're confused about which partnerships to take and which partnerships to turn down. Just know one thing, that you should always believe in your gut and you should always trust it too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so grateful for those of you who are watching and listening to this. If you have 1 minute, please just press the follow, like, and subscribe button. It would really mean the world to me.